Hi there, and welcome to part 2 of my Bible lessons. This is video 2, and today, like I said, I'm going to be talking about being thankful, and this comes from Romans 1:21, and that's what I meant to say in my first video, but I accidentally said chapter 21, which I don't think there's 21 chapters, so I apologize for that who watched it. So this is about being thankful. Most have experienced where God has touched them in some way, but they aren't able to maintain it. Like I said, Romans 1:21, again, we will be discussing. And that verse, for those who have not watched, says, because although they knew God, they did not glorify Him, which we discussed on video 1. We talked about glorifying God. And now we're discussing they were not thankful, but became futile in their thoughts, and their foolish hearts were darkened. Hebrews 12 verse 2 says, looking unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of their faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and has sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Now, how many of us would have joy going to the cross? This says he set joy out before him. Why did he have joy? It's because he saw you and me. He loved this world so much. If Jesus could despise the shame that came with the cross, then you could despise anything. You could reduce anything that comes against you to nothing. Glorifying, magnifying, and thanking God is all intertwined. In order to glorify God, we need to be thankful. As you are thanking Him, you're reminding yourself of what He has said. As you think on the Lord, in this way He becomes bigger and more powerful in your life. Unthankfulness is one of the things of our generation. 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 1 and 2. But know this, that in the last days perilous times will come, for men will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient, unthankful, and unholy. Being unthankful was listed right next to being unholy. It is in the same list as blasphemers, lovers of pleasure, but does describe our society. Huge amounts of people are unthankful. They simply don't remember and acknowledge the goodness of God. Now I will show you an example. If I am walking with my wife and she says, look at the sunset, or points to a flower or a bird, I will say in my mind, thank you, God, for showing me that, because He shows us in small ways. I could even thank Him, for a cat walking on the sidewalk. Thank you for bringing that cat to me today. Being thankful involves memory and humility. You can't be thankful without remembering the good things that have been done for you. A proud person doesn't believe anyone has helped them do anything. They've accomplished it all on their own, which is not true. They don't acknowledge their contribution and help or anything else. This attitude, I'm a self-made man or woman, is just rampant today, and very few people remember. Psalm 103 verse 2 says, "Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits." God commanded you not to forget because he knows you will if you don't make a decision to remember. In order to maintain the things that God does in your life, you're going to have to be one thankful person. You need to constantly go back and rehearse your victories and encounters you had with him. For some Christians, every day is a new day with no history. Now let me say sometimes before you argue this, to me, there's two categories. There's people who just could care less and don't remember, and then there's those who had a troubled past. However, with a troubled past, your story can help people. Isaiah 51 verse 1 says, "Listen to me, you who follow after righteousness, you who seek the Lord. Look to the rock which is higher, which hewn, and the hole of the pit which you were dug out from." At the same time you're looking to the Lord and seeing your position in him, you must remember the pit you crawled out of. I'll leave you with this. I mentioned about people who had trouble past. This doesn't necessarily mean, it's all just about for troubled people. It can mean anybody. I came from a Orthodox background. I still remember where I came from, but I grew in my faith and I am where I am right now. So it is good to know where you came from. The Apostle Paul, always remember where he came from. So, and that's why I include that verse. Alright? And the next one, maybe the next one in this little series, or I may do something else, but I'll still continue them if you guys enjoy them. God bless.